Hey there guys, once again we are here with another discussion-like video for Fire Emblem Heroes, and I feel like I've done a good job at, I wouldn't necessarily say addressing what happened in the last episode, because clearly there's some people, well, two specifically, that don't really like the format, how the video's direction is going, but I've had a lot of discussion with the previous video, thanks to the comment section below, and I feel that it was definitely a success. I got a lot of interesting point of views, so I feel that it was a good way for me to spark up a conversation and just get a general idea as to what you guys would think. So this is gonna be another one, and I feel like now that Star Wars Battlefront is pretty much like the topic of the news discussion in recent media nowadays, I feel like this might be a good opportunity to tackle how the microtransactions ordeal works out in Fire Emblem Heroes, and why I personally think it's better in Fire Emblem Heroes compared to, of course, the likes of AAA games like Star Wars Battlefront, Shadow of War. I forgot exactly what's called. It was definitely in the realms of the Lord of the Rings universe, but it's made by Warner Games. 2K Basketball, all the AAA games, and why free-to-play games are kind of excused in a way, because, well, first off, okay, I don't know exactly how to start up this conversation. Like I said, I'm doing this all on the top of my head. I've not really prepared this whatsoever, but me personally, microtransactions are not ever a good thing, no matter what it is. Although there are some games where I feel like it's not that big of an issue versus, oh yeah, this is definitely a huge issue. Once again, Star Wars Battlefront. The reason why people are so up in arms in that game, on top of paying $60, you're also locking out characters that are very well known, very popular, and clearly have an obvious advantage towards picking if you play the characters, but they're locked behind a paywall where you're forced to grind it out. And the way they are grinding out in Star Wars Battlefront, to my knowledge, is very tedious, very long-winded, and for the most part, exploitable. And that's not ever a good thing if the ability to exploit the mechanics is very simple, to the point where it just gets so boring. What's the point of grinding out for this game? There's no quote-unquote, as EA put it, pride and accomplishment into it at all. None of it whatsoever. So, of course, that's why, that's essentially why EA is getting flack for it, is because it's obvious that they're doing it just so that they have the pay-to-win model.
All right.
And
My turn.
yeah, that's essentially the part of it as well. There's a lot more reasons, but I can't really think of them on top of my head. Now, of course, free-to-play games
Here we go.
are obviously out of the
Yes.
norm, I guess.
Of course.
I don't think that's the right word for it, but they're clearly excused in a way because they are free. So of course they're, oh Jesus Christ, 107 damage. That's a lot. So clearly,
Let's go.
because of that, it's right for the microtransactions to exist, right? How else would the game make money? And to a certain extent, yeah, that's agreeable. I mean, there's also ads that you could also put into it, but no one likes ads. I will admit, I don't like ads too, but the only reason why I put them on is because, usually I just like to support my favorite YouTuber. But that's out of the question, out of the norm for what we're trying to discuss for today.
Yes.
But yeah,
Heads or tails? Decided.
I'm not good at training or commenting whatsoever. I'm sorry, I apologize. But anyways, how did I put this? What else can I talk about? The whole microtransactions ordeal.
My turn.
It's I guess my personal stance are whenever microtransactions should or should not exist whatsoever. Personally, honestly, I don't like the idea, but at the same time, if it's not that big of an issue, then I don't mind it too much. If it's like Star Wars Battlefront, then yeah, we're gonna have a fucking problem. I guess that's just all I wanted to showcase. I mean, I honestly thought that there might be a little bit more discussion going on though, but I feel like it's kind of straightforward with the way I've been talking.
What are you looking at?
I guess I personally, like, even with a free-to-play, I guess that's just the stingy part of me. Unless I'm really tempted. And I'm not gonna lie, I've delved into microtransactions in Fire Emblem Heroes without a doubt, and I do feel ashamed of it without a doubt because
Let us sing.
there's no pride in the accomplishment whatsoever. I had to pay my way just to get the things I want, and that's not necessarily something that I want to do. I will say that in terms of like what Fire Emblem Heroes does, and maybe some like free-to-play iPhone games or Android games, free-to-play mobile games. That's probably a better term. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of experience with all of them, but that I'm just using like Fire Emblem as an example. I don't think you really need to use microtransactions whatsoever to succeed in this game.
Heads or tails?
Once we're done with this battle, I'll showcase all my 5-star units that I've gained. I will show you guys exactly what I've not all of them, but I guess I'll just show you guys the ones where I have not pulled whatsoever,
My turn.
and how I managed to make their build to be pretty damn good. Well, first off, we already have one right here. That's Shauna, or sorry, not Shauna, Sharina. This is a good opportunity for me to I guess showcase my 5-star units. But okay, first off, I don't think Alphonse is that good of a character, but the way I build him, he is decent enough. I don't think, and he's a character that you get from the very start. If you 5-star him, then he could do decently well done. He's a decent sword unit, and yeah, Joshua is a free-to-play unit. You get him by unlocking Tempest Trial, either a 4-star variant or a 5-star variant if you're willing to grind that much. And that's something as well, is that if the grinding is actually not, I guess going back to Star Wars Battlefront, like I said, in Star Wars Battlefront's case, it took forever to grind out everything. Now, granted, they did decrease the time a little bit, of course, by I guess a quarter of the way, but that's of course still not enough. That there's still some issues with that. Everyone's still complaining about it. And with the way I've been grinding at Fire Emblem Heroes, it doesn't take too long to get your free-to-play unit at all. Like, I've gotten Joshua, I want to say, like, in 3 days of playing the game.
I choose tails.
Like, okay, there's obviously the first 2 times you do a bonus time, but also I've been kind of like non-stop just like auto-battling, and I guess that's in a way like a little bit easy grinding and exploitative. But of course you get a lot more bonus points if you actually do the work on the hardest difficulty and actually succeed, but I'm too lazy. Anyways, that's beside the point. I got Joshua in 3 days. Grinding does not take that long, unlike 1,150 hours that you have to do just to unlock Darth Vader in Star Wars. But anyways, yeah, there's also Arden. He's also another free-to-play unit, and also very top tier too. That's another thing that I appreciate about Fire Emblem Heroes, is because the units that you get for free-to-play are not always like completely broken or any. Sorry, that's bad wording. They're also very viable for the tier list as well. I wouldn't say they're completely broken, although in Arden's case, I will say he's pretty damn broken. What the hell is Toby doing in my room? Alright, I'll apologize for that outburst. Anyways, that kind of out of nowhere. He just snuck up into, like, this recording session. I thought I locked the damn door, too! There's a reason why I locked the door in the first place, Toby! Anyways, Black Knight, free-to-play unit. Now, of course, you might be saying, but they're all sword units. They're free-to-play, but they're only sword units. Where's the variety? Of course, like I mentioned before, there's Sharina, but there's also Fjorm, our recent character, with fucking counter. And already a very good preset build. Ice Mirror, attack, defense bond, shield post, drive attack, like all these are good units. And you could technically make her, make her a little bit better with inheritance skills. But the way she's built already, she's damn amazing, and she's free to play. So, already, like the free to play units you get, like I said, you don't need to go to the summoning pool and summon a hero whatsoever. You could just play the game however you want and build up your team, train up your army. You don't need all these 5 stars. Like, here's the thing, like, all the 5-star units that I've actually gained, I barely use. Like Agma, I don't use them at all. I don't use them at all. Arya, admittedly, I will be able to train later on, but for now, I don't really use her whatsoever. Yeah, like the only units I'd say I religiously use a lot would probably be Lucina, that I got from Summoning Pool. Lucina, oopsies. Effie, Tharja, not Oscar. I don't ever use them at all. I just merged them because like, okay, I have 2 copies and might as well do something. I'm not sure what to do. Whatever. Ninian, well, she doesn't really benefit my team whatsoever now that I got an ego. But yeah, that's like maybe like I want to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 10. 7 to 10 units that I got, and if you're playing for that long, then it's probably easy to get 10 5-star units in Summoning Pool unless you're really that desperate or really that bad luck or whatever. But anyways, like I was saying, free-to-play units. Admittedly, I don't think there's like an Axe unit that's free-to-play aside from maybe Anna, and even so, she's pretty damn viable. I train her up to be pretty damn good. I just need an A skill, and I'm planning on giving her maybe like Left and Death because her defense is not that good, but she could very excel in her attack and speed department. Yeah. Okay. Might replace that with Brave Axe or something. Anyways, yeah. There's also other free-to-play units you get from the special maps. I already did Felicia's and all the other characters like Silica, what's her face again, Sophia, Rise, all those units. You could get them and train them up. Use your feathers to increase their rarity. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Est is also a unit I admittedly got 4 stars, but you could get her to 3 stars and then upgrade her to 5 stars and try and build a good one. There's also the Grand Hero battles as well, which you could definitely utilize. Ursula is pretty damn good. I don't think I have any other units. Robin's admittedly trash, but I made her very viable. As you can tell from all these skills I gave her. And I'm not gonna list them all out. You can just see for yourself, see how much I've absolutely trained with my female Robin, despite her being very low tier. And that's only assuming like if you take the tier list into account. Personally, I don't really do them that often because, well, female Robin is a good example of my Reinhardt / Brave Lynn killer. But yeah. Anyways, going back to microtransactions. I don't know what else to say. Like, I might be contradicting myself at the same time because I'm like, I don't advocate for this practice whatsoever, but I'm perfectly okay with having Fire Emblem Heroes get away with it. And I'm not sure if that's like biased of me to do so, because I absolutely love playing this game or not. Or if it's the fact that it's free to play, so it's like, okay, they need to get their money somehow, or whatever. Or, I don't know, maybe because I have a YouTube channel, I could easily spend the money for this, but honestly, I've really been doing that often. Like, I think the most time I did a spending spree, the most money I spent on this game would probably be 60 bucks, admittedly. And, yeah, and that's my own fault, okay? I will say that for a fact. Like, while you do have the option, you don't necessarily have to do it. It's very optional to do it, unless, of course, it's mandatory to get viable. And that's something that Fire Emblem Heroes definitely does not do whatsoever. Ignore the tier list. I could probably do like a video of a tier list in the future, but like, I don't know, that depends on whether or not these discussions continue to grow or not. Yeah, I don't know what else to say to continue this discussion. What do you guys think? And I would like to know more examples of specifically free-to-play microtransactions. Like, how do you feel about them personally? For me, as long as they're like... Actually, another thing I'd like to point out is Overwatch's microtransactions and how they deal with loot boxes, and how they're completely cosmetic only. They do not change the game whatsoever, and I feel like that's perfectly understandable. That's perfectly fine. Even for a $60 game, although that's a little bit shady in my opinion, I think it's a lot more excusable than, like I said, Star Wars Battlefront. Simple as that. But yeah. I'm gonna end this video right now because I honestly don't know what else to say. I'm gonna try to pull a Dorcas, see if that's a good finale. I only got one, whatever. But anyways, yeah, that's how I feel personally about microtransactions. What are your guys thinking? Comment down below, let me know. And yeah, I guess we'll see what happens in the future. Yeah, see you guys then. I'm gonna start summoning one more time, maybe. I really want a Dorcas. That's why, like, there's a reason why I was in Team Tharja to begin with, because, okay, she's a unit I like, and she's the only unit I own that's I could use, so it's like, okay, Team Tharja. But I did really want to be Team Dorcas, but I just never pulled him. And I don't think I'll ever pull him either. That's always fun. Anyways, see you guys then.